Right. You can see the. I will touch the professional bodies also, not only the regulatory bodies, that is the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. I thought it is very useful to you. Actually, you are a member of a very important and very highly recognized profession, that is engineering. There are professions, but the engineering is one of the top professions in Sri Lanka. Therefore, the whole society is depending on the engineering, and maintaining of the standards of the engineering is very important. If somebody say I am an engineer, the society does not know whether he is really an engineer. To make sure that one, we have the Engineering Council and the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka tell the society he is a real engineer and he has the required knowledge to practice as an engineer. Uh, then, after obtaining the degree, you can get a job in the industry, you can start your own business. But the technology is changing very fast. So how can you update your knowledge? Because when you are in the university, you are guided by the university lecturers, and after you passed out, there is nobody is guided to you. So therefore, you need a body to support you after you passed out from the university also. So that body provide the guidelines, training, assistance for professional conduct, and if somebody is practicing unethical manner, he should be the it should be able to take actions against him, and all these things should be looked after by body or bodies. So that's why the professional body is there. So since engineering is a very important profession, we have a separate professional body called the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka. So professional body is a one non-commercial organization, and it's not belong to government or anybody. It's an independent body. It is driven by the members. They are collecting the annual fee from the members, and they are maintaining the whole professional body from this money. And it is governed by a law of constituted of members at the annual general meeting, and they can get the enroll the members to different categories, and they can accreditation education programs, they can provide knowledge update of the programs. So all these things are very important, because when there is an engineering program, any program is there, somebody says this is engineering, if there is no standard of that one, then who will check whether that standard is there or not? For that one we need a body. So the professional body is doing that job. So, but all the professionals are not doing that one. Only the high level professional bodies are doing that one. Then what are the main functions of professional body? That is, they maintain the education standards, industry standards, and they represent the profession in the industry. And they support members for different areas. Professor Navagam explained this one. And these are few of the professional bodies in Sri Lanka. One is the Institution of Engineers Sri Lanka, or IESL. Then the Chartered Engineers Institution is there, Management Institute, then the Marketing Institute, like that. So many professional bodies are there. And there are international professional bodies, IET, IMECI, ICE, IEEE, like that. So we can be members of the international professional bodies also. Now, IESL is the apex body of engineering professionals. It's the main professional body in Sri Lanka. So they are looking after the progress of the profession. And there are different, and another thing I want to mention, all professional bodies are not accredited, not passed from the Parliament Act. Only few professional bodies are passed from the Parliament Act. So IESL is a professional body passed from the Parliament Act, and they have a lot of powers, mainly in the whole engineering education area. They have the authority to look after. And they have different types of memberships. Professor Navagam explained this one. And how to become a student member, how to become an affiliate member, that also explained by Professor Nagamo. But this is connected to the Engineering Council Act also. I will explain that one later. Uh, to become the IESL student member, you have to follow a recognized engineering degree, and you can submit the application to IESL through the website, and you can get the membership. So after about 4 years full time, to become IESL associate member, you have to follow a 4 year full time engineering degree. And if you fulfill the above criteria, you can submit application to become a member, associate member. Then after you develop your competencies, just passing out of the universities, you know the theoretical knowledge, but after working in the industry, you can develop your competencies. Now these competencies are assessed by the IESL, then IESL provide you the chartered status. So this when you go to the IESL website, you can see how to become a chartered engineer. Then I will come to the main part of my presentation, the regulatory bodies for engineering. Now you have to understand the difference between a professional body and a regulatory body. It's a professional body is a private organization. It is managed by a membership. In a professional body, if somebody is doing somebody have misconduct, only thing the professional body can do is to remove him from the that membership only. But from that misconduct, if something bad happened to the society, who can take the legal actions against him? For that one, a regulatory body is required. Now, the medical profession has a regulatory body, so that is called the medical council, and the engineering profession has a regulatory body. Only very few regulatory bodies are there for the professions. So, we know to practice as a doctor, they have to get the registration of the medical council. They have to display their certificate. Similarly, practice as an engineer, you have to uh, get the registration of the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. Uh, there are different categories. I will explain of that one. Without that registration, you cannot practice because it is illegal if you practice in that way. So, a regulatory body is a public organization or the government agency. It belongs to the government. So, it is set up to exercise regulatory functions, imposing requirements, conditions, or restrictions, set out the standards for activities. Actually, the IESL also defined the standards, and there are some overlapping areas, but the Engineering Council also responsible for the standards. So the IESL and the Engineering Council should get together and do these things. uh, Enforcing in these areas and obtaining compliance. The regulatory body might also be referred to as a regulatory agency, regulatory authority, or regulator. Primary goal for regulatory body is to serve the public. The primary goal of a professional body is to serve the members. See the difference there. Now IESL is mainly it is served to the member, and the engineering council is to serve to the public, and they have to maintain the national standards. So regulatory body is established on the basis of legal mandate or legislation. They have the legal powers. That is a very, very important one. And these are some of the regulatory bodies in Sri Lanka. You might heard about these things. Telecom Regulatory Commission, Consumer Affairs Authority, Public Utility Commission, Sri Lanka Medical Council, and Engineering Council of Sri Lanka. They have a lot of authorities and they have given a mandate to serve to the public or the society of the country. Now, engineering regulatory bodies in the world are Engineering Council Sri Lanka, Engineering Council UK, Engineering Council India. That is the almost all countries have their engineering council to regulate the engineering profession. So this is the inaugural ceremony of the Engineering Council. That is 17 September 2019. So this is Professor SPS Abeyakon. He was the IESL president, as well as he was the vice chancellor of he was a vice chancellor of University of Peradeniya. Here, this is the some of the pictures of that inauguration ceremony. And this is the Act of Parliament. The Parliament Act passed, that is in 2017. You can download this act and you can just go through that one if you are interested. And these are the functions of the Engineering Council of Sri Lanka. improve the standards and conduct of engineering practitioners, registration of engineering practitioners, engineer diploma holders, technician. I will explain. There are different categories of registration is there, and they have to contribute to socio-economic development of the country. We all should contribute to the socio-economic development of the country. So the engineering council has a big responsibility in this area also. So these are the responsibilities of the Engineering Council Sri Lanka: maintenance of professional standards of engineering practitioners. So this is the mandate given in the Council Act. Actually, the IESL is looking after engineers, but the Engineering Council is looking after all categories of engineering practitioners. That difference is there. And the Engineering Council should maintain the professional conduct, and we have the legal authority to take actions again if somebody take the unethical thing. And registration of all categories of engineering practitioners. I will explain to you what is this all categories of engineering practitioners. And provide for matters connected to therewith or incidental. There is a legal term. This is in the act. That means anything related to these things we can, anything related to the benefit to the country in this area, ISL, the Engineering Council has the mandate to do these things. These are the categories we have: the registering in the Engineering Council, chartered engineer, associate engineer, and affiliate engineer. So these three categories are recommended by the IESL. This should come through the IESL. So we cannot direct register them. So the IESL should send the list to us to register them. But this is the most important category, the chartered engineer. So the without registering, if you practice as a chartered engineer and if you put a seal and approve something, it is illegal. So therefore, this registration is very important. Then there are another two categories: incorporated engineer and engineering diplomate. It is coming from the double ISL or the Institution of Incorporated Engineers, Sri Lanka. Then the third category is the engineering technician. This is the vocational people. So their qualification required is the NVQ4. So they are directly registered by the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. Now you can see the first three categories cannot directly register by the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. It should come through the IESL. Now these are the qualifications to register as the different categories. To become a chartered engineer, you have to be a chartered engineer of IESL to register in the chartered engineer category. To register in the associate engineer category, 4-year full-time degree or equivalent recognized by the IESL. Now you can see all these education qualifications are recognized. It should be approved by the IESL. So therefore, IESL is the body looking after the education standards of the country also in the engineering. And the affiliate engineer, 3-year full-time degree recognized by the IESL. And incorporated engineer is the incorporated engineer of double IESL. And engineering diploma is the diploma in engineering recognized by double IESL. Engineering technician is the NVQ4 of engineering technology or equivalent. So these are the things given in the act. And these are the main things done by the Engineering Council and as well as the IESL. So we can see the difference. You can see the engineering is a very important profession. So it has a very important professional body called the IESL, and it has a regulatory body. So all these things are properly maintained. The standards are maintained by these two bodies. So what is the purpose of all these things? The purpose is we have to finally, we have to serve to the public for the socio-economic development of the country. Now, this last Saturday, uh, you can see we met the Honorable Prime Minister and we submitted our proposal to him uh, from the ISL and the Engineering Council together. So you can see the ISL acting president is here, and the Dean of the Engineering Faculty of Moratua, Professor Kumarachi is here. So he also member of the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. and some of the engineering council members are there. And so we have submitted the very important document to how to uh, develop our country. What are the things we have to do to develop our country? So to wrap up, I would say that the uh, when you when you are in the university, try to become a student member of the IESL. So you have a lot of advantages are there. You have the seminars, you have conferences, and you can have the networking there. Then the the regulatory body of the engineers is the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. Without registering in the Engineering Council Sri Lanka, you cannot you are not allowed to practice legally in Sri Lanka. And what is the composition of the Engineering Council Sri Lanka? So there are 7 members representing from the IESL. 7 members representing from the IESL, and the 4 members are representing from the Institution of Incorporated Engineer or the double IESL. Then there are 3 ex officios. These 3 ex officios are coming from the faculties of engineering of state universities. Now, because when this we are formulating this bill, there are only 3 faculties. That's maybe the reason that the 3 ex officios are there from the faculty deans. Now there are 3 deans from the University of Mortua, University of Jaffna, and the University of Peradini. They are representing there. In addition to that, the TVEC, Tertiary and Vocational Education Commission chairman is there. Then another representative from the technicians, in the another representative from the public service engineers, that is the engineers work in the public. So this is the composition of the Engineering Council Sri Lanka, and there are no any members directly coming through the from the minister or anybody. All these are nominated members. Among these nominated members, the chairman is selected. So uh, we have to we have a lot of responsibilities now. The engineering Council Sri Lanka established in 2017. It was came to operation in 2018, and it has a history of about 2 years, experience of about 4 years. But IESL has more than 100 years, and we have to go a long way. Actually, to fully establish the engineering council, it may takes about another 5 to 10 years, because when you are registering the people, they are coming through the IESL. So the IESL should do the recognition of the degrees. What are the degrees in Sri Lanka? There are state university degrees, there are private university degrees, there are foreign engineering degree students are coming, and all these things should be properly evaluated by the IESL and give their membership. And through that one, we register them, and the engineering council is look after the country wise, or we have the legal mandate to function, and uh, the, they have to register in the engineering council to register the practice, and also they have the legal mandate to take legal action against of the any of the engineers they are doing any misconduct. Advantage of that one is there may be some fake engineers, the unqualified engineer people saying they are engineers. So before the Engineering Council Act came, there was no way to take legal actions against them. Now we have that authorities there. So therefore the you have to understand about your profession. It's a very important profession. You have to maintain the dignity, and you have a very strict code of conduct in the ISL as well as the Engineering Council Sri Lanka. So violation of code of conduct will be the you have to face with the litigation. And also the you have to keep in your mind the society is mainly depend on engineering now. Now today we can see the because of the power problem how much people are suffering there. So therefore, we have big responsibility to serve the society. And also when you are serving the society, don't think about only the technical things. Think about the social the impact also. When you are doing the big projects, there are many social impacts. So you have to use your the professional competency and properly handle these things. So after you passing out, you have to develop your competencies and apply these competencies to serve the public or the serve the country. Okay, thank you very much.